Hey guys, this is my classroom observations digital story. So let's just jump right into it. So I was placed at Hidden Lakes Elementary School. The district was Keller ISD, and my mentor teacher was Cindy Hanna, or Miss Hanna. She had been teaching as an art teacher at Hidden Lakes Elementary for about 20 years, so she was very experienced. Um, The first day was very interesting. As soon as I walked through the door, everyone was extremely friendly and helpful. The ladies at the front desk were super kind and they directed me right to the art room because I didn't know where I was going. And as I was walking down the hall, there was artwork that just decorated everywhere. And I stopped and looked at a few of the artworks on my way. So I wasn't late, but I really cut it close because I was just enamored by everything. Um, Miss Hannah was extremely upbeat and kind. She was very happy to answer all of my many, many questions and even gave me some resources that she used while planning her lessons. So, yeah, she was just so nice and really helpful, and I got a lot of great notes and informations and resources from her. Um, yeah, so the classroom setup was pretty cool. Um, she had these bins right here full of like newspapers and scratch papers and scissors and stuff like that. In an easy place for all of the kids to access. It wasn't like too tall, all of them could reach. And I didn't really get a good picture of it, but the shelf right next to it has bins for each grade that has stuff like crayons, markers, stuff like that, so that the grades don't have to share. Um, and it's very easy and accessible for the kids to grab these supplies too. And these shelves are for the stuff that Miss Hannah might not want the kids to have direct access to, like hot glue guns and sharp objects and stuff like that that will need more careful instruction and observation and like clay and stuff. So for this project, what she had out was paper mache strips in these little boxes right here, and she had these glue bottles, and also one thing that she always had was these spray bottles filled with water just placed everywhere within her room. She wanted to keep her room as tidy and as clean as possible. Yeah, and right here she has like stencils and how to draw stuff for the kids because whenever they are finished with something, they had these little like journals slash sketchbooks that they could draw in whenever they had free time. So I thought that was a great way to get the students engaged in art even after they're finished with their projects. And yeah, so some details about the class. Classes were about 30 minutes long, with the exception of the last class, which was an hour long, which was not enough time, in my opinion. She complained to me about it on the daily because she used to have hour-long classes for all of her classes, but they changed it on her very recently, and now she only has 30 minutes per class. And she doesn't think that it is enough time to really get things going. Like you're finishing and cleaning up right whenever the ball starts rolling. Um, so she would see each class twice a week and every class briefly on Fridays. I did not get to visit on a Friday, but she would tell me how hectic and crazy it is. She would see fourth grade in the morning, then first, then kinder, second, and third. And yeah, so it didn't have any like rhyme or reason. It didn't go in any order. And sometimes she would get mixed up between first grade and kinder. But she had like a schedule posted on her door so she wouldn't like actually forget. Since the classes were so short, she kept a large timer on the table for everyone to see so that they could stay on track with their work. And this was like the most brilliant thing I'd ever seen. It was just a large timer that everyone could see. It was very easy to read, and it was just great for time management. Um, and single projects could take up to 2 to 3 weeks to complete, which was a big, like, I wouldn't want to say it was a shock, but it surprised me how little projects they actually get to do throughout the year. Like, I was expecting them to be doing a lot more, but I guess since she only sees them twice a week, not including Fridays, It's just not really, it doesn't make sense for them to be able to make like one project per week because of the short amount of time that they got. So some of the projects that I got to help Miss Hannah out with was the second grader stuffed lion project. It was super cute. The students would draw and color a lion head on a piece of paper, however they want, and she would show a video or two about how to draw different kinds of lions to get them inspired before the lesson starts. And then they would cut out the lion head with another piece of paper behind it so that you would have two matching pieces of paper. And after they finished cutting, they glued the two pieces of paper together, making sure to leave a gap at the bottom. And finally, they would stuff the lions with torn and crumpled paper and glue the gap closed. So then it would be just like a cute little stuffed lion. Another project that I got to help out with was the fourth grade Aboriginal inspired art project. This was super fun to help the kids with. The fourth graders worked on a project inspired by Aboriginal art. They would create dot paintings by using dots of tempera paint to create different patterns and images. And we also encourage students to use different colors and sizes of the dots. So as you can see here, this student is almost completely done with his dolphin, but he still has like some of the fins to color in and the background designs to do. But overall, like he's using like different colors and different sizes of dots. Like there's like tiny ones over here and larger ones over here and a big one for the eye. So these just ended up looking so amazing. And here's one that's in progress. This student was really insistent that I take a picture of his artwork because like somewhere like right over here he accidentally made a heart shape instead of a dot shape, and he was just enamored. He was like, that is the most amazing thing I've ever done. You might be able to see it if you really look, but I don't really remember where on here it was. But yeah, that was pretty cool. It was so fun to see how excited the kids got while creating art. So, some advice from Miss Hannah that I took notes on, direct quotes. Um, if something unexpected happens, tell the principal before a parent does. And this was in reference to, she was talking to some like second graders about Vincent van Gogh, and one of them raised their hand and said all of the things that she didn't want them to learn about Van Gogh at the moment, which was like how he cut off his ear and committed suicide and stuff like that. So the next day, or the next time I saw her, she gave me this advice and she was like, yeah, it would be much worse if the student went home to their parent and said, "Oh, Miss Hannah taught me about like Van Gogh killing himself and stuff like that." So she was like, "Make sure you tell the principal before a parent does, just to make sure everything's in the clear." Um, and also ask the other teachers what call and response methods they use. It will be easier to get kids' attention if you use one that they already know from their own class. Learning the names of all of the students in the school, as well as learning to read their handwriting, will take time. Work hard, but don't beat yourself up over it. Lesson planning does take trial and error. Sometimes lessons don't work out, and that's okay. You know to try something different next year. Keep more of your students' art than you think, if they don't want it, of course. And finally, use the cardboard boxes that supplies come in as placemats for messy occasions like painting. So as you can see right here, here's an example of that. She's using the cardboard boxes as placemats, and you can see how well used they are, and they are reusable. It's pretty thick, sturdy cardboard. So I thought that was just a great idea. And some of my notes that I took down, which are also like a few of my takeaways, are classroom management. Say you'll call on the most quiet student to go first, getting supplies, lining up, etc. They love to be first in anything, even if it's like a mundane thing. Countdown during cleanup helps them stay focused on cleaning, and rewards like stickers are great motivators. Also, always have something else to do if a student finishes their work early. She has these drawing books right here. Excuse that. She has these drawing books right here that they can use whenever they are doing their sketchbooks, whenever they have something, whenever they finish their work. Students, even younger ones, can get up and get their own supplies. This I had to learn the hard way because seeing those little kindergartners and they're like, "Oh, I want crayons," and I'd be like, "Oh, I'll get you crayons," and she was like, "No, they can get them themselves." Um, and yeah, if there's an issue in one class, you can use it as a teaching opportunity. So for my future classroom, I will definitely buy a large timer and use it just like Miss Hannah did. It really helped with time management for both the teacher and the students. Like that was something I thought was awesome. I will ensure that students participate and manage supplies appropriately without much teacher direction by using motivators like stickers and other forms of positive reinforcement. Through my time in Miss Hannah's classroom, I was able to see firsthand how effective this method was, which was very effective. I loved the way Miss Hannah's room was neatly organized with bins of supplies for each grade. I feel like this would be a great idea to implement in my future classroom to keep everything safe and accessible. And that's the end. Thank you for watching and listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah.